In today's video, we will show you the entire true story behind the Russian economy getting destroyed. To justify its invasion of Ukraine, Vladimir Putin has decided to paint Russia as a dominant world power, reclaiming its rightful claim to empire greatness. However, even before the attack on Ukraine, Russia's economic capabilities were insufficient to sustain an empire. With foreign sanctions causing the Russian ruble to collapse, Russia's economic standing in the world has plummeted even further. At today's exchange rates, Russia's economy would be the 22nd world's largest, with a GDP not much larger than that of the state of Ohio. That is a far cry from Russia's former status as a true world power. According to data compiled by the late economics professor Angus Maddison, Russia was the world's fifth largest economy in 1913, trailing only the United States, China, Germany, and the United Kingdom. By 1957, when the Soviet Union beat the United States to the first satellite launch into space, the Russian economy was the world's second largest after the US. Putin's aspiration for greatness. Putin was elected president in the aftermath of the Soviet Union's chaotic disintegration and the 1998 financial crisis, during which Russia defaulted on its debt and neglected its fixed exchange rate. Putin formed an unspoken social service agreement with the Russian people based on its capacity to deliver robust revenue growth. As a result, Russia's GDP and market exchange rates increased tenfold under Putin's rule, held up by a commodity price supercycle that would last well into the 21st century, restoring Russia to global competitiveness and providing buying power to its middle class. Russian researchers have found that as Russia's economy began to falter after a peak in 2013, Putin tried to seek new legitimacy to govern through foreign policy actions to re-establish Russia's status as a world power. The annexation of Crimea in 2014 exemplified these efforts. Russia's invasion of Ukraine comes as Russia's market rate GDP loses a third of its value between 2013 and 2020, doubling down on Putin's strategy of seeking legitimacy through great power status rather than economic performance. However, the West's unyielding economic and financial sanctions have accelerated Russia's economic decline. Russian equities traded on the London Stock Exchange have fallen by 98%, wiping out an equivalent of $572 billion in wealth, while equities on Russian exchanges have remained suspended. The Russian exchange rate has dropped to 110 rubles per dollar. It would have fallen even further if not for recent capital controls and rising commodity prices caused by the sanctions themselves, which account for most of Russia's exports. The domino effect. Russia's market rate GDP in 2021 was $1.65 trillion, making it the world's 11th largest economy, trailing only South Korea. However, as of March of 2022, Russia has fallen to 22nd place between Taiwan and Poland. This decrease is most likely an underestimation. While a falling ruble reduces Russia's GDP exchange rate to US dollars, a weakening economy reduces its ruble GDP directly. And in the medium term, Russia's solitude will erode its economic strength, widening the economic gap even further. Putin's next step. Putin's claim to legitimacy based on economic performance has been shattered. With great power status closely linked to economic power, Putin's backdoor source of credibility from instilling nationalist pride appears to be closing as well. Putin may well have led Russia out of one troubled period, but he has now led it into another. That is cold comfort to Ukrainians and the rest of the world who are waiting to see what Putin will do next. With all of Russia's economic problems, many wonder the reaction of the government as Moscow begins to recognize the reality of change. The ruling class somehow believe that there is enough gas and oil to maintain Russia's wealth, buy voters' loyalty, and regulate media as well as civil society for as long as the country's top politicians are in authority by 2036, when Vladimir Putin, the president, will step down. What happens after that is unimportant to them. The majority of the challenges confronting the political system of Russia are relative to the country's lack of economic growth. One of the impeding growth factors is the government's excessive interference within its economy and all aspects of life, which has resulted in an over-centralized as well as an ineffective administrative state. This over-centralization, combined with restrictions on the media as well as other outlets for free expression, means that the authorities of Russia will receive little feedback, and as a result, have only a hazy picture of what life is like for ordinary Russians. The majority of the business leaders and economic experts also stated that the wealthy Russian elite are aware of the issues Russia is confronting, but are paralyzed by feelings of a widespread reluctance to evolve within any long-term strategy development or change. Hence, the only acceptable modifications are short-term strategies with immediate effects. So this is how the Russian economy has been permanently destroyed. What do you think about the entire scenario? Let us know your views in the comments below, and remember to watch the videos on your screen.